Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is I, North Sentinel Island, and today we are basking in our victory. As you can see, Germany is a much bigger place now under the hands of our glorious people in the communist revolution. And the blood of the workers has not been laid in vain, as we have all this glorious land now to build socialism. Glorious socialism. And before we begin, we have 100 political army experience that we need to figure out what to do with. So we're just going to be going into like a ridiculous amount of deficits, but this is how you do things. We're going to make a lot of deficits, and then we'll figure out how to get away with them. So you're going to get some anti-tanks. My panzer units, you're going to be getting a hospital, because that makes sense. My motorized troops, you're going to be getting an extra unit of motorized infantry and a hospital, because that's what you need. The cavalry units, also kind of like my garrison troops, you're going to be getting a hospital because you're actually bleeding troops. And you need some armored cars because, frankly, you need them. And yeah, I know you're going to be hurting from. Everyone's going to be hurting for a lot of things very, very shortly. So, everyone, you have to, be used to shortages. After all, you're goddamn communists now, so you might as well be getting used to crap like that. So I'm just making sure we have everything we want. We need to figure out some extra support thing for these guys, but these are good. These are good. It's sort of like a harder version of a motorized unit. And then we have 50 things, so when we begin producing bigger stuff, we have stuff to play with in the future. And as I said before, people are going to be hurting for stuff, but you're a communist now, so you need to be getting used to things like this. You need to be getting used to shortages because we're communists. And if you're not used to shortages, well, unfortunately, we would mean you're kind of like in the wrong field. So, now that we got the shortages all figured out, that's just before we begin, just focus on them. Anti-tanks and artillery, as usual. You need stuff, you'll get stuff soon enough. I mean, you're producing a lot. We could give you one. You're going to be done in about 100 days. You're going to be done really soon. These are going to be done in 70 days. You're upgrading, but you have plenty. The other thing I think we could actually build more of are naval bombers. So as we see, we need to figure out who actually has stuff. As we see, motorized has a lot of stuff. Panzers have a lot of stuff. As one unit catches up, we're just gonna have to redivert just so that way everyone eventually catch up with stuff. And as I said before, you need to get used to shortages because they're communists. And if you're not used to shortages, well, you're kind of in the wrong field. Everyone voluntarily became communists in my country. Now, going to the Navy. This is my training people. We got a heavy cruiser, destroyer, and 4 subs. High Sea Fleet Marine School. What the hell is this? Alright. Because I'm just gonna have. I need. Here we go. Yeah, these are all my training people. I want you to be part of. There we go. And you're going to be going to Salvoctor. This is the last one. He's going to be going to Salvoctor, and he's going to be my training guy. So, you know, Sharon Horse is not ready. Nice Now is not ready. You'll be Reserve Fleet 3 for the time being, simply because that's actually a good name for you. And you're going to be training until you're done. And then you're going to stop training. Because I need you to train so that way I get naval experience so I can begin playing with stuff. And we pretty much have everything else now that we need. Now that we did succeed in destroying those people. And pretty much we're just going to be in a situation where we need to try to arrange things in such a way as just we build our armies to get ready for the new menace that's going to be coming around. Most likely the Italians or some other fascist enemy that's going to be trying to destroy the lives of the working people. Which I just find disgraceful. Because, you know, it's the one good thing about communists is that they're really good with propaganda. So you're going to have to admit that my army needs to be able to have resources, and if doesn't have resources, it means that the capitalist enemy is trying to prevent them from getting resources, which is absolutely horrid. Because it's never, because our communist leaders in my country are not inept or anything. After all, they're communists. Or whatever. A lot of what I said didn't make sense, except the part that my people should be getting used to shortages at this point, simply because, you know, they signed up to be communists. You're going to be direct ground support. This I'm going to save up because we're going to have to build up some souped up stuff sooner rather than later, I think. This is my reserve fleet training. No, it's not. What are you doing, Reserve 3? Oh. Oh, you went over here to bother the English. Oh, that's nice of you. I mean, I guess that's an okay place to train. You know? Oh, I'd prefer like it be a little bit more closer home borders, but what you know? You want some friends to come out with you? Like he could pretend to be like the enemy and stuff like that, you know? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, what do we got? Oh, I guess we. Oh yeah, it's just one of those that we just built. So I think we just could build another Prian. Spay, Barrelong, EVS Prian. All is good. Germany sieged a la Fronte. Germans victorious on all fronts. As well, so far, you have to admit, we did pretty well. We became communists. And I think we're the only election in world history to become communist voluntarily. So I saved my people from a vicious, bloody, horrid civil war. And you should have a lot of respect for me for that. And if not, I mean, it's there. There's always the option, of course, that I might be able to encourage you to change your policies through re-education camps, resurrection camps, or whatever type of camps that you want to, become part of. And at this point, I want some to begin using my air experience for some sort of goodness. Figure out what we're building a lot of, or that we have a lot of. As we see here, 337 fight close air. Let's see, we actually have quite a lot of we actually have a lot of tactical bombers, but comparatively, we're pretty tac bomber heavy. So maybe you take a little break, and maybe you take one. So now what have we got? 3 of them. Because I want to soup something up. Let's see what we could do. Kind of like that idea, but we do need it. Attack and reliability. This increases my naval attack, increases my agility a little bit, and increases my speed a little bit. And it eats up fucking everything. But if you read the Battle of the Atlantic, this was actually something that the Germans lacked, was a decent naval air arm to destroy near British convoys. And it definitely would have came in handy during Seeluva, because they actually might have had a chance to pull that off. If they did this or that, or this happened or that happened. So I'm thinking about this Flieger Gruppe Atlantic. I know that's the name of a unit, not necessarily the name of an aircraft, but yeah, there you go. You can only build 4 a month, but it's better than nothing. And those will slowly come to actually kind of probably help out. So at least, obviously we don't have, we don't have any like semblance of aircraft carriers or anything like that right now, but you have to admit that something like that might have actually helped Germans unfortunately pull it off, which would have obviously I'm against, but from like a strictly militarial perspective, you can't really argue with that. If they had some sort of naval air arm, even if it was coastal, it would have definitely helped them out. And they're gonna have at least something in this now that they're gonna have some decent souped up bombs. Oh, here we are. Bye bye, Carlos. Hello, commies. So yes, the commies pulled it off, which is good for the victory of us workers. Now that they actually are a member of the Comintern. So it's always good to have little allies. They could sit back, they could have some sangria, help slowly rebuild their country, because, us communists, we need all the help that we could get right now. And if you don't believe that, well, we do need help. Because just because we're communists doesn't mean that we need all the help we could get to help maximize the abilities for our beautiful country to become better. and the world as a whole. And as I said before, we'll probably, I mean, as a communist country, we need to figure out where we're going to be putting our gulags. Like, there's just no real good area that I could... like, I'm thinking Hungary. Hungary might be a good location for a gulag. Or re-education camps, or whatever you want to call them. I mean, it kind of looks like the Boondocks, but... And the only other thing I could think of, well, it just doesn't make... it's... You probably want more central locations, so... Like, the last thing I really want to do is just, like, stick them by, like, each town has a gulag, like, next door to it. Figure out what we're going to be doing. I mean, some of these you can do, some of these you can't do. I mean, there's no point in doing an anti-Comintern pact, because we are communist. So these are going to, like, that's going to be... We can't even do them. We can't even, like, bypass them. Which is a shame. It's like... You can't even bypass it. And a lot of... Like, so many of these are, like, anti-communist that, I mean... They really do, like... Like this... We can't. Well, we bypassed Rhineland, so we're stuck in this side unless we, like, kind of, like, figure out there are, like, little ways where we can meander over. Like, we could do sea to the Eastern Front if we want. And, if they say no, well, we could take over Mimo. Stuff like that. So we have, like, an option to, like, eventually... Probably in a couple months to take over Mimo, which I want. It's probably going to be our next, person on our to-do list. So, we did that. Just makes sense just to do this. Do air innovations. Just get a lot of our policies back in order. We have some time to kill until we can figure out a way to, which person necessarily we're going to be, saying hi to next. And a lot of it's just looking over here because, once these guys get taken care of, like in 10 days or so, and these people... the goal is just to try to work everything out so that way everyone has the ability to get everything they need for when we go to war against Lithuania. And until then, our Navy's exercising. We might as well get the 3rd Fleet out there to exercise too, because as you notice, I don't really know that much about this. But I do know you're not exercising. So go out there. Go over there. You have to train for the glories of the people. As you see here, we have Reserve Fleet 1, Reserve Fleet 2, and Reserve 3. 3 of them are exercising. Those are the people that haven't exercised. You have exercised, I believe. Yeah. You guys are good. High Sea Fleet. Fully trained. You think, like, after not doing anything for, like, over a year since your last training, you might have been, like, gotten rusty or something, but apparently that doesn't happen in this game. Give you one. We're done with something. I just don't know what. Linus is being built. Crop space being built. We have 4 of them, so I need to figure out what to build. I'm almost tempted, as dumb as it sounds, to build another battleship. You think we need a Schlachschiefer? Schlachschiefer. Yeah, if one thing we do need is... I'm thinking about that. This is probably be one of the dumber things I ever did in my life. 34, 35, 36. You're going to be done in frickin' October 1940. And you'll be getting a third one, but... It kind of makes me feel sick inside when I do that. But to be honest, we just need a Navy. And we obviously will be updating with the Bismarck class in 1940 proper. So it does make sense to have some... Maybe an extra battleship. Obviously, we're pretty busy building us light ones as well right now, but it doesn't help to... It doesn't hurt to have battleships, especially, you know, if... I don't think we're going to be having to go toe-to-toe against the British, but if worse comes to worse, we need to at least have... We can't really be selling ourselves short. And I'll be checking this in 2 days. I mean, even if we're a little positives in some categories, I'm not necessarily that worried about it. What happened to our armored cars? Yeah, we need a lot of those. But, you know, the ones that we have so far seem to be doing okay. Most of them are walking around with horses, but, you know, if, like, the higher-ups have something, or if the leaders of the people have something, you know, the leaders of the people have, you know, stuff to lead working class. Well, I'll be done with this frickin' communist propaganda themed stuff soon enough. Mecklenburg's gonna be done with Dockyard. We'll have to clear out through all this racket rubbish. Because as you see, it's because they didn't go willingly. We only have access to 3.9 of their factories. And these people have 17 factories, but we only got 4.3 of them. But things will be a little bit better once we build up their infrastructure. And I don't know what kind of factories that they are, too. Like, it's... What do they do? I'm just wondering, like, how that 100 comp wagon dry... Done. Which concerns me because now we need to be producing that. We could actually begin incorporating it into our units too if we wanted to. So what exactly do we want? These are all these things are way ahead of time. Our specialized units, if we actually use them, we might just use the Panzer II chassis. All these things are 39 technology. Unless we do... I'm thinking maintenance just for the... Recovery rate. Everything's... Like, everyone's reliability is up, which is good just because, well, I don't want things being lost. Right now, to be honest, I just want to double check everything. This, we're waiting for smoke screen will be good. I mean, like, all this stuff is stuff that's as sad as it sounds. It's stuff that we do need. This we might actually just be putting on the Bismarck class. At least to say, it's. You could say a lot of things about the way I'm doing this campaign. I'm trying to help the Navy somewhat. Because, well, that's what we do need. Yeah, that's that one new motorized unit. Nothing to be scared about, boys or girls. We're doing okay now. People are having stuff. Support equipment is now positive. I mean, obviously we need to have some production lines of this, but now we actually do have stuff we could give to our glorious artillery friends. You're going to be done next. We'll give 2 to you. Two to anti-tanks. Yeah, I know. You want rubber. Cry me a goddamn river. Who shall we get the rubber from but, ideally, a communist brother. Oh, you. There we go. So that's good. And support equipment, yeah, we didn't exactly neuter your production, but you're still having some stuff. You still have 3 factories that are devoted towards support equipment, whatever the hell that means. Because whatever your definition of support equipment is, it might be different than mine. Which might be different from someone else's. So I didn't know what the hell you're producing. I mean, I'm just trying to think of my army days and what support equipment might mean. I'm just thinking like DFAC stuff. Like giant containers for coffee. Stuff like that. I don't know what your definition of support equipment is. I'm just going to end this episode now, and I'll be